Hi soulmates, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Do you want to learn how to make this elegant stylish dress that is perfect for any occasion? Then you're in the right place. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cut this style. So if this is what you're interested in, let's get started. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So I have here with me the two fabrics that I'm using. As you can see, I went ahead to make the pleats with the second fabric, and then I'm using 2.5 yards of crepe. So as you can see, I just made the pleats and stitched down the top. So you can see the pleats, you can see how beautiful it looks. So this the one that I'm using 1 yard for 1 yard of fabric for this. I folded the other side like this, and that's it. So I also went ahead to make a piece like this I'll be using for the neck piping. So this is a crepe fabric. You can see, so you want to make sure that the side that is more stretchier is on the body, okay, like the round your round body, okay. So after I did all that, I checked and I saw that this side was more stretchy. So the fabric was just stressing me and it was really heavy, so I decided to cut it into smaller bits like this. Please know that I'm using a Korean crepe for this style, but you can use any other kind of crepe. You can also use a lycra if you want. So next I'm just going to take the full length of the dress, and I'm taking it at 48 inches. So next I'm going to go ahead and then straighten out my line as you see me doing, and then cut it open. So from this point I'm going to take all my vertical measurements. I'm going to take my shoulder to chest line at 9 inches, my shoulder to bust point at 11 inches, my shoulder to under bust at 14 inches. I'm taking my shoulder to waist at 18 inches, and from this point I'm going to mark my shoulder to hip at 26 inches, and I'm going to also mark my shoulder to knee length, okay, at 41 inches. I'm going to mark that, and then we've already marked the full length of the dress. So the next thing that we're going to do, I'm just making the line more visible. So the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and connect a straight line across all of these points as you see me connecting. Just go ahead and do just that. So after we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do is to take our neck width, okay. You take your neck width. So I took 3.5 inches here, and then for the neck depth I came down by 6 inches, okay. You can do 5, you can do 7, it depends on what you want or how you want it to be. So I came down by 6 inches, and I'm going to use my straight rule to connect it like this. So my shoulder divided by 2 is 8 inches, and we're going to mark this on the point here. Now I'm going to come down by 1 inch from that point that we marked to mark our shoulder slant. Afterwards, the 8 inches that we took on the shoulder line, we're also going to take it on the chest line. This is to enable us get our straight line across like this, so that we can get the midpoint of this line to enable us create our armhole curve. So from that mark, you go in by 1/2 inch on the chest line. You divide your bust circumference by 4, and then connect these 3 points together like so. So after we're done with this, the next thing you want to take is the dart. So I'm just going to come in by 4 inches on from the center front like this, and then connect a straight line across. Now please note that there is no dart on the dress, okay. So first of all, I'm going to come up by 1/2 inch on this point like this, on the waistline like this, and then I'm going to come down by 5 inches from the hip line. I'm going to coming down by 5 inches, mark that point as you see me doing, and then afterwards from the bust point I'm going to come down by 1 inch, okay, so that the dart will not sit on our bust. So you can decide not to take in your dart, okay. As you can see on the dress, there's no dart. Well, I don't know, for some reason I just like taking my dart like this. I love the dart lines. I don't know if it's just me. Secondly, you can decide to use the dart elimination method to eliminate your dart, okay, or you can use a lycra fabric or any other stretchy fabric and then just go ahead and do that. But I decided to do this here. So you can decide not to take any of that. It is absolutely fine. So afterwards, we're going to connect these points as you see me connecting. Just go ahead and do that. As you see me doing, just go ahead and do that. So afterwards, from the underbust points, I'm going to further come out by 1/2 inch on both sides of the dart leg. As you all know how I like to take in my underbust dart. And from that point, I'm going to connect back to this point and then back to the waistline like this. If you've been following me on my channel, you know you should be very familiar with this pattern. So afterwards, we're going to take all our body circumference measurements. So I'm just adding 1 inch for sewing allowance on my chest line. Then I'm going to come down to my underbust point and divide it by 4 and then replace the dart intake there of 1.5 inches and add 1 inch stitching allowance. I'm going to do the same thing for my waist. Divide my waist by 4, my waist circumference by 4, replace the dart and add 1 inch sewing allowance. So we're going to do that all the way down to the hemline. Now the hemline, my hip divided by 4 is 11 inches. So I took out 2 inches from that, which is 9 inches, and then added 1 inch for the allowance and marked that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to connect with our rule. As you see me connecting, just get your rule. You can use your free hand if you don't have any of these rulers that I just used. So this is pretty much it. So I'm just going to use my pins, pin it down and hold it in place so that it does not shift. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create the design that we have in front there. So what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to come up from your hemline. You're going to come up by 15, 16 inches or 10 inches. It depends on how you want yours to be, okay? So that is what you're going to do. So I decided to come up by 15 inches, and that is what I've marked here. So we're going to connect it like this. It's very simple, right? So go ahead now. We're just going to go ahead now and mark that point. You can decide to make it however you want it to be, okay? And mark that point. So after I've marked that point, on this side, we're going to come up by 5 inches or by 6 inches, okay? I decided to take 6 inches because you know that 1 inch is for hemming allowance. So after the hemming, I'm going to have 1 inch. So next, we're going to just connect like this and then do this way. So from this 5 inch point, we're going to go in by 1 inch, okay? Come in by 1 inch from that point, and then we're going to connect from this point straight down to meet that 1 inch that we came in by. I hope you understand. And from there, we're going to curve it in like this. You can see we're going to curve it in like this. You can also decide to make yours straight, okay? That will give you your own style, but we're trying to recreate exactly what we saw on the picture. So that is what we're going to do. So then afterwards, we're just going to go ahead now and cut off the excess. And this is pretty much it. Is very simple, right? It is very easy to achieve. So just go ahead now and cut off all of the excess. As you see me doing, just go ahead and carefully cut it open, okay? So this is it for the front pattern. Can you see that? So we're going to go ahead now and cut this part off as well. Now please note, you're not going to take it off because we didn't use a pattern paper. So you're going to place it on the pleated fabric and then cut out the other part. So please keep it well. So we're just going to fold out the front pattern and then work on the back pattern. Now I would usually just place my front pattern on the back and connect, but today I decided to totally just do it differently. So you can see me just marking my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. You can take 1 inch, you can take 2 inches. It totally depends on what you want. So afterwards, just go ahead and connect these points together. And after we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is to repeat all the process that we all the process that we followed through when we were drafting the front pattern. Is exactly the same thing that we're going to do, okay? So just go ahead now and connect all of those points as you see me connecting. So for the back neck depth, I came down by 2.5 inches and I connected like this. You can decide to make yours deeper, or you can decide to make it smaller if that's what you prefer. Okay, and then for the dart at the back, I came all the way up to my chest line. Okay, and then I connected it, and I didn't take any underbust tightening. I just went ahead. Then I came down from the hip line. I went down by 6 inches instead of 5 inches that we took in front. So let's just go ahead now and connect. After this, every other thing is pretty much the same with the front part. So let's go ahead now and connect. So on the waist point there, remember we took 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. So I divided that 1.5 inches into 2 and then marked it. And what I'm doing now is connecting it from this point. I'm just connecting to the other side like this. And after I mark all of this, I'm going to connect the other side to the hemline as well. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to explain. So we're going to just repeat the same process and connect all of these lines together like this, and just use your rules and connect just as you see me connecting. And just like I said, after we're done with connection of this part, now we're going to connect this back to the hemline like this. Now this is to eliminate zipper bulge. Okay, so you don't have any bulginess at the back of your dress. I do this for almost all of my dresses unless the style requires otherwise. Okay, you can do this, or there are different other methods that you could do it as well. So this is it. So you can see we're just going to go ahead now and cut out the excess for the back as well. So let's do that. Okay, so as you can see here, our back pattern is ready. Okay, it's very simple. As you can see, very simple. So let's put this off and then let's work on our sleeve. So this is the fabric that I have left, and I'm just going to fold it to create my sleeve. I'm just going to fold it to the length that is going to fit my sleeve. So I'm marking 10 inches at the start point, and then I'm going to come down first to measure the length. So for the length, I came down by 25 inches. Okay, my sleeve length, usually my sleeve length is 23, but then I decided to make this 25 because I wanted it to go a little bit above my wrist, or below my wrist. So I'm just going to connect this across like this, and then the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my wrist by 2, which gave me 3 inches, and I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. So next I'm going to come down and mark my elbow point at 12 inches. Okay, mark that, and then I'm going to also connect a straight line across as you see me connecting. Just go ahead and connect that, and then the next thing we're going to do is to divide just from the top. Okay, from the shoulder we're going to come in by 4 inches, and on this side we're going to come down by 3.5 inches. You can do 4 inches if you want. And then on this 4-inch point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Okay, this is to enable us create our armhole curve. Okay, just as we did for the dress, just as we did for the bodice. Okay, so we're going to connect it this way, and then also place it this way, and then connect it. This is how you draft your basic sleeve. Now you can also decide to just use your free hand if you don't have this curve. Okay, that will just make you more efficient and all that. So afterwards, on the elbow area, we're going to divide our elbow by 2 and mark that point. Okay, you're going to mark it like this. So after you've marked that, please note to add sewing allowance. So I decided to use the curvy part of my rule to connect it because you can see it's not that straight. So I decided to connect it like this and just give me like a curve, a little bit curvy effect. But I wasn't having it the way I wanted. It was too curvy, so I decided to just straighten it out a little bit. But you can see how it is looking, right? So afterwards, we're just going to go ahead now and cut the excess off. Okay, just go ahead and cut it off as you see me doing. Just go ahead and then connect the points, cut off the excess like so. So this is basically it, guys. Can you see how it looks? So these are all the pieces that we're using. So I'm going to be showing you how I made this in the sewing tutorial, so you want to stick around to see how the dress turned out to be. Can you see this? And it turned out pretty well. So in our next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to join all of these pieces together and then create your own flawless dress. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Please don't forget to comment your thoughts or any suggestions or any of that, anything that you'd like us to change or you'd like us to do further. So I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by.